Hello, folks. Chris here in Las Vegas. Now, this video is to help South Africans who have resettled in the United States who are experiencing difficulties with their case officers and/or their agencies and have had no recourse to date other than reaching out to me or someone else trying to get help, Shelley Hepburn or Mike or Professor G. We are not the belly button to fix these problems. The U.S. government is the belly button. We've been informing them, or I know I have. And I'm hoping that this will make a difference. When I had a conversation, an office call with the director of the Office of Refugee Resettlement, ORR, a week ago on Friday, we discussed this and I was given this email address. So I want to talk about this email address, what it is and what it isn't. So this is refugee complaint reporting to the Office of Refugee Resettlement. Now, this process is for refugees who've been resettled in the United States. You must have come here in order to use this email. It's a mechanism to help those people who have a problem. It's also a mechanism to report genuine issues, concerns, and shortcomings. It's not a means to complain about unrealistic expectations. If you're unhappy that your case officer didn't take you to a dentist on a Sunday, well, that's not a realistic expectation because that's not their job. If, however, you've been unable to secure a Social Security office appointment to get your Social Security number for 6 weeks, that's a serious concern and it should not happen. That would be a reason you'd write to them. If also you came here and did not receive any cash assistance, just a gift card for food, and you have a family of 3 and it's been 6 weeks and you've received no more food or money or cash, that's a genuine concern. The email is not for South Africans in South Africa who are displeased with their approval process in their application for refugee program. This is not an organization that deals with that. The Office of Refugee Resettlement, ORR, is under Health and Human Services. They are not the United States USCIS, which belongs to the Department of State, Customs and Immigration Services. And they're not RSC, which is part of Church World Services, a private contractor. So that's what this is about. It's for genuine concerns, not for petty complaints or unrealistic expectations. That said, what you need to do, folks, is you need to write, if this affects you, write to this address, Refugee Programs Grievance at acf.hhs.gov. And you can see HHS is Health and Human Services. Refugee Programs Grievance at acf.hhs.gov. I also ask you, as a courtesy to me, so that I can stay on top of these things, courtesy copy me or carbon copy, however you prefer to say CC, allaboutafrica2021@gmail.com. That way I'm in the loop. You're not required to, but since you're learning this from me, it would be helpful for me to know what's happening. Now, what you need to do is give a subject. You don't have to follow this format exactly, but you will help them out immensely by following this format. There's some basic information they need in order to do anything or even look into your case. They can't just guess who you are or where you're at. So subject line, refugee case, and put your SF number on there for your case. Gentlemen, I've come to the United States as a refugee from South Africa. There have been several issues with my resettlement, which my case officer has not performed adequately. This has left us in a vulnerable position and is setting us up for failure. Please see below information about my case. You can use those words. You can use your own words. Basically, try to introduce what's going on. I've given a list here of things like your refugee case number, the refugee name. Here you can see it, Senior von Rensburg. The number of refugees resettled on your case. You're probably going to say, yeah, but they can find that. Yes, they can find that. But for immediate attention, they look and see 4 people, a spouse with 3 minor children. Well, that would be 5 people, 11, 7, and 2. Current address that you're located at, whether it's a hotel or you're in an apartment somewhere, give that. In this case, Mockingbird Lane in Baltimore, Maryland. Your telephone number where you can be reached. The agency that's you're servicing you, their address, your case officer, and the case officer's contact details, his phone number, I should say. Now, when you write to them, after you give them that basic information, you need to describe to them what the issue is. Do not write a novel. I'm getting voice notes from people 11 minutes and 21 minutes. I don't have time to listen to those voice notes. Do you want me to sit down? I multitask, and I cannot do that while I'm doing other things. I'm busy writing, answering questions here, answering emails, setting things up. That's ridiculous. And by the same token, you can't send them a 17-page email. It's not going to help. What you need to do is write bullet comments, as you see on this slide right here. So here are a few that I've just dreamt up that may be applicable and would make sense they could understand. Our agency demanded we sign a rental lease when we were still in South Africa, without even being in the USA, let alone inspecting the property. You've conveyed the fact that you were forced to sign a lease sight unseen, and you could probably also tell them there that they told you they would not be able to let you come to America if you didn't sign a lease, because that's not allowed. And you didn't get a chance to inspect the property. Everyone who rents a property must inspect it. Our case officer did not inspect the unit which he forced us to occupy. Now, I know this to be the case because we saw in Omaha, Nebraska, one of our refugees nearly died from carbon monoxide poisoning the night she arrived because the case officer fraudulently claimed he inspected the place and didn't check it. There were multiple other problems with the apartment too, and it was all just a lie. The bedroom window glass is broken and can be opened from the outside. Well, that's a danger to your safety. Requests for repair have gone unheeded for 23 days. That's unacceptable. The air conditioning unit has not functioned since we arrived. Well, if you're in Alaska, that may not be a problem in January. But if you're in Wyoming, it may not be a problem. But if you're in Texas, it could be. We have an asthmatic infant, 14 months old, who has difficulty breathing. And the recent high temperature here in Dallas was 94 degrees in March. If you don't know how to convert Fahrenheit, just go to Google, take the temperature and convert it. All right? Get used to using Fahrenheit here. Our agency placed us in a hotel and came back a week later. We were not provided food or cash. That is not acceptable. My case officer told me, don't expect much. This is a blue state. Trump lets you come over. Well, that is injecting personal political beliefs into the system. I had a refugee this actually happened to, didn't even know what a blue state was, never heard of such a thing. This is not acceptable. If you're mistreated, you should let them know that's an issue. Our agency said we've exhausted all of our funds within 3 weeks and they're cashing us out. Something very fishy going on there, and the ORR will need to look into it. My son is wheelchair bound. The agency forced us into an apartment without wheelchair access. That's a violation of federal law. They cannot do that. And I already know a case where someone has been put in a position where they're so far away from the entrance that they're basically confined to their apartment. That's unacceptable. All right, folks, this is meant to help those who are having issues. Now, before the hate wankers in South Africa and the leftist drooling brain dead idiots start going, oh my gosh, look at this. All these people are suffering. It's still a very small minority of people who are going through this. Unfortunately, anyone going through it shouldn't happen. The bigger issue here, which South Africans don't care about, that want to hate on America, is that this has been going on for decades. It's been going on for decades. And because the refugees coming here weren't English speaking, they were coming from parts of the world where they were coming out of horrific conflicts or being oppressed. They were just grateful to get out. And they're also afraid that if they complain, they could be sent home. I will make this clear for the 1,000th time in this video. Your agency and the case officers have no say over your stay in America. They cannot turn you in and get you sent home. They cannot deny you coming here. If they're unable to accommodate you because they don't have the resources, they must inform the U.S. government, and then you'll be diverted elsewhere. If they threaten you, they have no authority. They are liars. Do not accept that. Stand up for yourself. Contact me if that happens. You have the email address to begin this video. You cannot be sent home if you complain. Now, if you're a whiner who complains about things that aren't real complaints, or if you're a person that arrives and 6 hours after you arrive, you call me multiple times and say, I can't live here. It's unsafe. I can't get a job. And I start inquiring, well, where are you at? You tell me where you're at. You don't even know the name of the town you're at. That's kind of a problem. This is a true story. It actually happened. The person couldn't even tell me what town they were in. Then I said, well, when did you arrive? This afternoon at 2 p.m. It was 9 o'clock that night, 7 hours later. And you know already on a Friday night that you can't find a job. How? Did you look for jobs? No, my case officer told me that all I could be is a waitress. Well, first off, be grateful to even get a job as a waitress and don't have such an arrogant attitude. All right? So that's not the purpose of this form. The purpose of this form is someone nearly died from carbon monoxide poisoning. People haven't got cash assistance. People being cheated. If you've got your case officer, you go to McDonald's or a restaurant and they take the receipt and they circle the amount that they ate and they circle the amount that you ate, and then they claim that, that's your money that they're stealing, unless that agency is paying for everyone's meals and it's not part of your benefits or your entitlements. So folks, this is meant to help people who have a genuine concern. Please do not abuse it, and please have the courtesy to CC me if you send an email to these folks. All right? I thank you for your time. God bless and best of luck